Today, I want to revamp the area that I spend the most time at. So, the base is getting an upgrade, and we're gonna see just how well we can make this place look. Let's get to it. Currently, my base is pretty simple. It's 3 floors tall and a pretty generic layout. But the only thing I really ever use here is the bed. I do have some extra swords, shields, and bows hung up, but I never actually think to use them since they're tucked away in the base. So now, it's time to get started. First thing up is deconstructing the base and figuring out which pieces I want to use in my new design. Honestly, I'd forgotten how much of a pain it is to lay everything out while having this guy also following you around and standing directly in your way. But after a little while, I'd glued most of the pieces I wanted to use together. And to get rid of the extras, I did a quick reset so I can get an idea of the pieces that I was still missing. During this step, I saw that most of the house required some parkour skills to get around. And one of the rooms is kind of just tacked on in the back, and it can't even be accessed from the inside. On the plus side, at least when I go back into the building mode, this area is going to be way less cluttered.
Outstanding!
Coming into this, I had decided that I wanted to go with a more open structure for the new base. So, this time around, I purchased some stables, and more of those pawn and garden items, to spruce up our house a little, and to make things feel more open. For some reason, I also decided to make one side of the base have one of those weird triangle-shaped hallway things. Of course, the whole time this was going on, the construction guy would just stand directly in the way. Like, why? Why does he do that? I'm trying to work here. But eventually, I was able to put something together that should be way more cohesive than my last go at this. So, one quick reset later, and this is the result. Yeah, I know, the house doesn't really have a front door. Also, for some reason, the picture room is upside down. But, in my defense, it's kinda hard to tell when the right side is up, since they all have those nets over them. Overall, I do kind of like what I have going on here, but I do believe I could do better. Going back into this, I was thinking that since the base parts that I like are made up of a bunch of different rectangles, I'm just gonna rip off this whole triangle section. Oh, and while I'm at it, I'll make sure to flip all the rooms so that they're in the correct direction. Also, I'm gonna make the first floor more closed off, except for the huge open area that will serve as the entrance. Now, when it comes to the second floor, I left it more open and crammed all of the swords, shields, and bows in one little corner. And I figured adding a little pawn on the outside would look pretty sick, as well as putting one on the roof for some reason. I like this iteration of the base substantially more than anything else that I've done today. It feels way more open on the inside, and doesn't seem as cramped as the original base did. The only downside I could see with this design is I may have lost some of the yard area where I usually make my builds, but at least I'll have a cool base that looks way better. If you enjoyed this video, leave a thumbs up and consider subscribing. Also, leave a comment, cause I respond to those pretty often. And as always, I'll catch you next time.